Chair recognizes Senator the Honorable Randy Rolle.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, Bahamas, my fellow Bahamians. I want to begin with a story that is all too familiar with many of us in this room and to countless Bahamian families across our nation. Meet the Johnsons, Jamal and Janet. They are hard-working parents to two children, JJ and Jamisha. Janet is a dedicated nurse, and Jamal is a construction foreman. Together, they rise before dawn, work long hours, and strive to create a better life for their children. One filled with opportunity, education, and the hope of a brighter future. Like so many families in our beautiful country, they are driven by love, ambition, and the desire to give their children what they never had. Yet, despite their tireless efforts, the reality of their lives is shaped by the constant struggle to make ends meet. Each week, they face the challenge of grocery shopping, often just managing to stay within their tight budget with the help of super value stamps. Now, they are forced to make choices, and difficult choices. Do I buy cream or milk? Do I buy cereal or oats? Do I buy canned goods that last longer or splurge on fresh fruits for their children? The challenge doesn't stop there, though, Mr. Deputy. Jamal relies on the family car to go to work. But with the rising gas prices, the cost of commuting has become a heavy burden. On days when the budget is particularly tight, he hands the car keys to Janet and takes the bus, finding ways to make it to work. This is just one example, Mr. Deputy, of the daily struggles of Bahamians like the Johnsons are facing. The cost of living is rising, with grocery prices climbing, gas prices and record highs, and utility bills steadily increasing. These realities have made it harder for families to get by, and the stress, it continues to take a toll. Mr. Vice President, as we know, the Bahamas is currently ranked 6th highest in the country, in the world, for the cost of living, with Monaco, the Cayman Islands, Singapore, Switzerland, and Iceland surpassing us. For over 2 decades, we have constantly ranked among the top 10 most expensive places to live, with our position even reaching 2nd place at times, Mr. Deputy. But here is the part of the story we don't always see. Despite these challenges, Bahamians are not facing them alone. The current government, led by Prime Minister Davis, has been working tirelessly to ease their burdens. Through targeted initiatives aimed at reducing the cost of living, the government has provided tax relief for essential goods, subsidized utilities, and launched programs that directly benefit hard-working families like the Johnsons. Yeah. This administration, Mr. Deputy, has so far lowered VAT to 10%, reduced custom duties again, and introduced policies to boost domestic food production. While global inflammatory, while global measures continue to challenge us, this administration has steadfast in its commitment to shielding Bahamians from the worst of these internal shocks. We are ensuring that families like the Johnsons are not left behind. Janet and Jamal are just one example, but they represent so many Bahamians who, despite the struggles, are finding relief in the government's efforts. This is a government that understands the pain of living paycheck to paycheck and is committed to making a real difference. Mr. Deputy, this Davis-led administration has taken a bold, decisive action, and there is more to come. We've reduced VAT to 10%, lowered custom duties, and introduced policies to expand domestic food production. Moreover, we've made strategic investments to protect our economy and provided much-needed relief to our citizens. Even amidst the global inflation and disruptions in international shipping, this government, Mr. Deputy, has worked diligently to diversify our diplomatic relations, both regionally and globally. By strengthening these ties, we are positioning the Bahamas to capitalize on new opportunities, building direct partnerships with investors and suppliers. This, Mr. Deputy, is the result of investments in diplomacy which are vital for the future of our nation. I see Senator Seymour isn't here, but one day last Senate session, she was talking about all of the relationships that this government formed. And this here talks about the benefit of those relationships. But I was happy that Senator Raming was able to speak right after her and set the record straight for her, so I thank him even for that. While some of these efforts may require us to travel and leave our shores, Mr. Deputy, I can tell you from my own diplomatic experience that face-to-face engagements are essential. They open doors to new economic partnerships that will benefit the Bahamas for years to come. But, Mr. Deputy, we will not forget the past. I understand the frustration from some of the members across the aisles. Under their previous leadership, Mr. Deputy, they were often boxed in by lack of vision and too much paranoia, unable to engage effectively on the global stage. Thankfully, Mr. Deputy, this Progressive Liberal Party government has ushered in a new day for all Bahamians, one focused on steady progress, growth, and prosperity for every citizen. Yes, there has been challenges, Mr. Deputy, but this government has been unwavering in its commitment to moving our country forward. In just a few weeks, Mr. Deputy, Bahamian families will experience more relief, as announced by Prime Minister beginning April 1st. The VAT on unprepared foods will be reduced from 15% to 5%. This reduction will apply to items sold in grocery stores, convenience stores, and those imported directly. We believe this will lead to more affordable prices on the shelves, ensuring that essential goods are more accessible to all Bahamians. I want to assure the public that the Consumer Protection Commission, Mr. Deputy, along with price control led by Rex Adderley, will be actively monitoring this reduction to ensure the benefits are passed on to the people. Mr. Deputy, today, as we discuss the 24-25 mid-year budget, let us remember that these measures are not numbers only on a page. They represent real lives, real struggles, and the resilience of the Bahamian people. As the voice of the consumer in this great country, Mr. Deputy, I stand before you today with the honor of overseeing the Consumer Protection Commission. Consumption is a fundamental part of our daily routine. Whether we are parents, students, workers, or citizens, we all rely on goods and services to support our lives and ambitions. Unfortunately, the Consumer Protection Commission has in the past faced many challenges. And it was hard from the start as it was not given the teeth or the cash to really fight on behalf of the Bahamian consumers. With limited resources in the past and authority, Bahamian consumers were left with more lip service than effective service. And the consumers who were supposed to always be right, Mr. Deputy, was far too frequently wronged by providers. We have seen global wages stagnant while prices soar and supply chains remain disrupted. These pressures are only increasing the vulnerability of consumers, making it more essential than ever that the government steps in to help. Under these conditions, it is critical that the CPC continues to work to protect Bahamian consumers. Consumers in the Bahamas are entitled to 8 internationally recognized fundamental rights, approved by the United Nations and Consumer International. These rights form the foundation of the recently amended Consumer Protection Act of 2023, passed by this administration. Since taking the helm at CPC, Mr. Deputy, my team and I have worked aggressively to raise awareness about consumer rights and protection. Knowledgeable consumers help drive economic growth and reduce market manipulation. And the actions taken by the CPC, Mr. Deputy, are a testament to this strategy. Mr. Deputy, I am proud to report, as I did in the update at the OPM, that so far for 2025, our Complaints and Investigations Department has resolved more than 11 complaints, totaling $15,664.02, with investigations into another 33 ongoing cases valued at over $47,000. These numbers demonstrate, Mr. Deputy, that the CPC is on track to surpass last year's figures of 444 complaints and over $242,000 in recoveries. Mr. Deputy, members of the CPC are constantly conducting site visits and site inspections on various providers, especially those who are known to us, if I'm able to use the police terms. We often see these issues from providers refusing to refund when it's clearly a defective good purchase, to expired items that are so outdated that it is outrageous to even offer them at a discount. Consumers can call our hotline or our main office daily to seek help about various issues plaguing them. We, Mr. Deputy, want Bahamian public to trust and know that the Commission is serious about addressing and enforcing the rights of all consumers. We are on your side. Okay.
Mr. Vice President, I move that the business of the Senate do continue beyond 1 p.m. this afternoon.
Is there a seconder? It has been moved and seconded that the business of the Senate do continue beyond 1 p.m.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. The business of the Senate will continue beyond the 1 p.m. hour.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy. As I said, we want the public to know that we are on your side. We want the Bahamian public to know that we are on your side. Mr. Deputy, I am also proud to report that on top of the Commission's efforts, we are working collaboratively with regulatory bodies from across the Bahamas to strengthen consumer protection. More recently, the Bahamas Bureau of Standards and Quality and the CPC has petitioned the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, to become a participating member of its International Consumer Policy Committee. Our application has been accepted by its chairman, and we are anticipating joining this international federation of national standards bodies from more than 160 countries. We believe, Mr. Deputy, we believe that this move will ultimately contribute to significantly to using standards as a tool for greater consumer protection in the Bahamas. The CPC will also be working in tandem with the Ministry of Labor, the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, and Price Control towards stronger enforcement of laws in regards to violations. What better way to do this, Mr. Deputy, than collaborating with fellow members and working towards shared goals that benefit the broader consumer community? Together, we are creating a more unified approach to tackle unfair trade practices, such as price gouging and enforcement of stronger laws, working again also closely with the Office of the Attorney General. This collaborative group will make sure preventative action is also taken to deter unfair trade practices and infractions against consumers. Mr. Deputy, I am happy to advise that CPC staff and the board are working on an advisory proposal for the Minister of Economic Affairs that will specifically seek to address price gouging in the market and provide redress to consumers. Mr. Deputy, consumers can trust that the Consumer Protection Commission is serious about its role. We are here to defend their rights, advocate on their behalf, and ensure that they are not taken advantage of. Before I take my seat, Mr. Deputy, let me address the recent egg shortage. Now, while the CPC does not have direct oversight in this matter, we are working closely with the relevant agencies to ensure that consumers are protected. Collaboration is key, and we have extended an open invitation to all stakeholders to join us in strengthening our efforts. Mr. Deputy, I want to tell the Bahamians all under the sound of my voice that their government is actively working to lower the cost of living. Our collaborative efforts are conducting a full analysis on the matter and hope to present a comprehensive plan to government shortly. While you will hear more about the medium and long-term goals in the near future, for now, our regulatory bodies continue to be the watchdog, ensuring that the public is protected from unfair practices in the marketplace. Mr. Deputy, colleagues, and fellow Bahamians, this budget is just another step forward in this administration's blueprint for change. And with those words, Mr. Deputy, I support this midterm budget. Thank you.